Hi everyone, I'm Julia Campbell here at Gems Boutique, and this is Style in Color, an interview series with game changers in business, sport, technology, and culture who advocate for women's empowerment. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Ilona Daniel. Ilona is a chef, writer, and media personality. Tune in to hear what she has to say about style and confidence. Good morning, Ilona.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Thanks for joining me. We had a little chat before we started this, and this is maybe early for most. It's a Saturday morning, but you've been up for probably a few hours, or maybe not because you didn't have to go into work this morning.
Well, I got up around 6 today.
Right. But normally
3:30.
Normally 3:30.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give us a rundown of what your day-to-day looks like.
My day today,
or maybe just one day.
yeah, well, it's always a little bit different, but my day usually starts Monday to Friday, 3:30 in the morning. I get up, I get ready, I head to work at the Culinary Institute of Canada for 5 a.m. and I greet my students. I open up the shop and we turn on all the lights, turn on all the equipment, and we get started and get ready to serve breakfast.
So breakfast starts when?
At 7.
Okay, so yeah, 2-hour prep. 3:30. I don't know how many of you out there are getting up at 3:30, but I assume that it's a pretty small percentage.
Probably. It's like getting up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
It's sort of strange. And
I asked you this earlier, so you go to bed around
8 or 9.
Right.
But I'm not a morning person by nature. And working in the culinary industry, you're used to going to sleep very late.
Right.
And getting up later in the day. So your body gets used to that. And then when I started doing the breakfast rotation, it was quite a learning curve.
Oh my gosh, I bet.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm not a morning person, but as I said, you fake it till you make it.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
So after culinary?
Yeah, so after I finish working with the students, I do any of the marketing that I need to do for the day, get the menu set for the following day, do some digital work and get the menu set up, and lunch, gotta have lunch. And in the afternoon I spend that a lot of times working on my own business.
Right.
Working, whether it's writing or connecting with clients for consulting projects or recipe development. And I'm also a full-time master's student at UPEI, so that keeps me busy. There's a lot of reading that needs to happen.
So like, do you stay, like, I find personally, I am a morning person, but I find like mid-afternoon, I kind of expire mentally. There's only like so many things that I can do. Do you find that you like keep the energy going? Like, can you keep it going right up until you're ready to pack it in? And like reading, I mean, I'm sure certain days reading or keeping up on your studies can be mentally exhausting too.
Yeah. Some days I question my sanity for sure. So, but I would say in the mid-afternoon, I think most of us have that kind of slump.
Yeah.
But I find I'll get up, go for a little walk.
Right.
Maybe go talk to somebody.
Like refresh kind of.
Yeah. And it's always good to connect with some people, post something on social media, just have a little injection of connection with other people so you're not in your head the whole day. And I think that helps a lot. Usually my day finishes up around, when I head home, usually it's around 5 or 6 o'clock.
Right.
I'd like to try to cook myself at least something home cooked on best days.
Right.
And when I get home, sometimes I still might do some email stuff, but I try to like mellow out a little bit.
Right.
And then bed comes around 8 or 9.
Wow. Love it.
Yeah.
So tell us what style means to you, coming from somebody who is a media personality, and you are, I mean, your photos being taken all the time, you're on video all the time. So yeah, tell us about your...
For me, style, for me, is a way to express myself.
Yeah.
I think we need to also think about, as women, as we get older, that we need to reimagine what that means as becoming a mature woman. That we have to look at style and not being about always, I have to be appropriate, I can't be daring, I can't do this.
Right.
You can do that.
There's no
reason why. So for me, I like to have a little bit of daring. I like simple pieces, but I like to punch it up. If I want to wear a flower crown, I'm going to wear a flower crown. And I'm okay with that. I will do that until I'm 90, God willing, you know? I'm okay with that. I love being able to show that vibrant personality that I have. I want people to know that there's a lot of quirkiness, and I'm a little bit eclectic, and that I think comes through in my writing, but also in my style.
Has it always?
Always.
Love it, yeah.
I've never been one of those people that quite fit in. You know, like I'm always friendly and always, but I don't necessarily fit a mold.
Right.
You know, and there's a part of me that's a little bit, still I have that inner goth. So I love wearing creepers sometimes with the nice big platforms. But I also love the classic pieces. You know, you can't go wrong with a classic pearl necklace.
Right.
Or simple, you know, diamond studs or something like that. Style is a lot of fun. I want to see people expressing themselves too. You know, it's not just I have to have a uniform. And for me, my style has to be able to transition throughout the day. You know, when I'm at work, it's got to be comfortable. Typically, you're wearing some black tank top or a tank top that you can whip on a chef jacket if you need to.
Yes.
Or you can put on a cute little cardi and change your shoes, and you can go to a meeting or maybe happy hour. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So is there a part of your style that helps your confidence, or has that kind of evolved over the years for you?
You know, I have to say, I really do love hair, jewelry, headbands. That's just one of those things that I feel like when I'm in the zone, there's usually some sort of...
even your hair color is like speaking to that. I mean, it's like a gorgeous platinum blonde. I like reached out to her and I was like, what did you do?
Yeah.
Well, how long was this process for you? Mm-hmm. How much maintenance does it take?
Yeah, I mean...
I'm a platinum wannabe. I've been for ages.
I've definitely had my hair like every color imaginable. And that's something, you know, you're not the first person who asked me, like, you know, my hair is naturally dark. Yeah. Very dark. And so when we talk about style and transformation, when my mom passed away, that was one of those things that I just didn't feel like me anymore, that dark hair.
Right. And interesting how that happens.
And they talk about how trauma can sometimes impact that. And I was like, when you're reading things and trying to figure that all out, and you're, my hair color changed in that first year and a half after she passed, and somehow I'm blonde now. But my mom was blonde, so I don't know. Maybe it's
was she
an homage to her? I don't know. But yeah,
it happened.
It happened, and I think if you want to do it, do it. So many ladies I talk to, oh my God, I don't think I could ever do it. I'm like, why not? You can slap back on some dark color if you want to.
Right.
It's okay.
Might be happening for you.
You should do it.
No, you're right. I should.
Yeah.
Women's empowerment. What do you see with women's empowerment in your industry? Has that evolved for you throughout the years and like kind of coming into your own?
Yeah, you know.
Or like maybe we'll take it from like the chef point of view first.
Yeah, you know, for me going into the culinary world, tradition. I mean, it really is. There's still such that male-dominated feeling, and for quite a long time in my early years, I really wanted to downplay my femininity. So I would often wear chef pants that were like huge.
Right.
Or my jackets would be really almost like potato sacks.
Right.
Because I didn't want people to think of me almost as a woman first.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be looked at for my skill.
Totally.
And there just came a point, kind of a light bulb moment, where I said to myself, this is crazy. Like, I'm a very feminine woman.
Right.
And that's what works for me. And if I want to wear mascara to work, I'm going to do it.
Right.
And that was a very empowering moment for me because, you know, quite often, for a long time, I was the only woman on the line, on the team. When I went to do my apprenticeship, I was the first female they ever had in the kitchen.
Wow.
So, and I mean, this is not that long.
Not right.
And that was in Europe. And so that was really hard. There were a lot of nights that I would go to sleep crying. But I would never let them see me cry because I said, I need to be strong. I want it to be better for the next woman.
Love it. Good for you.
Yeah. And that was such a hard, I really galvanized myself in that experience. And And since I would say the industry is shifting, I think when we look at questions of mental health, diversity, quality of life, all of these things play an impact in how we design our staffing in our kitchens. You know, in culinary school, we have, if not equal male to female ratio, quite often sometimes there's classes that have more
nice.
females. So I think for me, I also take it as a huge responsibility to walk my talk.
Right.
You know, so if I say, you know, my style is like, you be who you want to be, then I have to do that every day, no matter if I don't want to or I'm too tired to.
Absolutely.
You know, that can be challenging, because some days you don't feel, you know, like you're at a 10, but your actions impact others, and
it's a huge responsibility as an educator, as a mentor. I mean, you're there like 5 days a week, and you do have a lot of sets of eyes on you.
And you know,
from both the male and female perspective of like coming through as young chefs.
And what does it mean to be professional? What does it mean to be you know, in this industry, and talk about vulnerability and being that it's okay to be vulnerable? Because typically when we look historically at our industry, that wasn't the way. You know, you had to be very almost militaristic,
right?
Very, it's just this. You don't need to. It's not about your feelings. We don't care about that. But it's shifted, and I think that's I think impacted by women coming into the industry.
Right.
And when you look at social media, a lot of my colleagues, there's a lot more leaning in and supporting other women in industry. That's really important too, that, you know, another woman's success doesn't mean that they're taking away from your own success.
Absolutely.
You create what you want.
Absolutely. I totally believe in that.
Right? Your abundance is yours. No one can take that from you. You decide whether you're going to accept it into your life and live it, or you're going to not do those things.
Right.
It's no one else. No one else is impacting that.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, like, I mean, I always want to be, as far as like, you know, from a brick and mortar point of view, I want as many shops similar to mine to be my neighbors.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yes, as you say, no one is you're only ever competing against you.
Yeah.
You know, there's no, in my mind, there's no real competition. Like, as you say, you do what you want to do and you make it happen.
Yeah. And that could be challenging
for sure
in this and especially in the social media world.
Yes.
I know you talk a lot about that too, when you talk about your family and your kids and being a mom and having your tough days, and that you put that out there. And I think that's so important, because our lives are not perfect.
No.
None of us are perfect. We are all kind of, in a lot of ways, sometimes every day, struggling a little bit. Like,
totally.
Am I doing this thing right?
Yes.
Do I know what life is supposed to be?
Yes.
And, you know, we need to step back a little bit and present that realism. You know, nothing is this airbrush perfection thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I think there's some great people taking a stand to that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the whole comparing yourself, and it is. I mean, we are a society of comparing, of social media. I mean, that's just the way it is right now. But and maybe you do this too. Like, I know myself. Like, I have to turn off at a certain point of the day. I just have to turn off social media. I don't look, because it's just too easy to kind of get into that trap.
Yeah, and you know, and when you fall into it, and you're like, oh, how come that person's doing that? And then you know, it doesn't make you feel good.
No, it doesn't at all.
And the ironic part is, they feel the same way.
100%. So yes.
We need to, and that's that thing. Let's celebrate one another, and as sisters, like, that is a reality. Some days we're going to be on top, other days other people are going to be.
Yes,
and
totally.
Some days we're going to be the one crying, and sometimes we're going to be the one holding someone.
Yeah.
You know, we need to be living authentic lives, whether we're in whatever, our professional, our personal. You know, we need to take those time and to say, okay, what is it that's bringing me fulfillment? What is it that's actually making me happy?
Yes.
And that's the thing that should be
your like focal point, and like what you're driving toward.
Because it doesn't matter what A, B, or C is posting about it, because you're the one who has to live your life. You're not living their life.
Totally.
Yeah. And that's, I think, a big piece, again, about empowerment. It's that care for yourself, and whatever walk of life, that you have the power to make change.
Yes.
And every day, when we talk about the culinary industry, I always believe it's always just at least take one step forward every day. Just one.
Love it. That's actually a really good message. One step forward, really.
That's all. Every day, if you can take one step forward, if you learn something new, if you are able to say something, an affirmation and a gratitude about yourself.
Right.
If you can do that, it becomes a habit, it becomes a practice.
Yes.
And that, in a month, can be transformational.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Icons or heroes or mentors.
Oh,
Love to hear this list.
It's a really eclectic list.
I have a feeling that it could be a list. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously, when we talk about the food, my mom has always been my inspiration. And when I was a little girl, Mom would sit me, on the counter beside the stove, and she'd be cooking, and I must have fallen in love with it through osmosis or something. But also my mom had this wonderful. She was just like a young soul, just such a almost like a fairy.
Right.
And she loved always to have a little bit of fun, and she was a little bit of a prankster, and she did that with her style as well. And she was vulnerable about it, and I think that's something that I always keep in mind, that it's okay to be a little bit quirky,
right,
and stay playful. So that's one big thing. Style-wise, I'm a big fan of Betsy Johnson. Forever. How old is she now? I don't know.
I don't know either.
80?
I was like, she could be 120. Honestly though, she's so iconic.
But she wears whatever she wants. She's not afraid of bright color. She doesn't care. She does her hairstyle, and she's doing her, cartwheel on the catwalk.
Yes.
And that is a woman who is just raw. She's
Absolutely.
powerful in her own skin. And I just love her style, love her color work. For me,
hands down, she is.
That's what I want to be when I grow up. You know what I mean? And I would say I'm also a really I adore Sophia Loren.
Yeah, me too.
What a
timeless.
And just this deep, understated, powerful femininity, and that. Growing old did not diminish her beauty and her sensuality, and I really admire that. Yeah.
Great list.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's more, but that's your top 3.
That's what I'm feeling right now.
What do you love about yourself?
Okay, I would say I love that I'm willing to go on adventures, and that I love change. I'm not afraid of change.
Right.
And I think that sometimes can be really stifling for people, because
massively
change can be so hard. If I can change my color, I can change anything else and welcome whatever comes. And I have a big capacity for love. I love to love, and I want to help inspire and empower that kind of joy and that love in people's lives through my work.
It shows. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And let people know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Chef Ilona. I'm on Instagram, same, Chef_Ilona. Facebook, Ilona Daniel, and find me online in the paper at Saltwire Network.
Yes.
On CBC every month. Yeah.
Media personality, folks.
Not hard to find. I'm here. I'm here for you.
Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.